Hey guys, so I've been thinking about doing this for a bit, kind of give you a bit of a background on my history as a fan with Ian Flynn. Now, long story short, like a lot of fans, we were all happy that Ian became the new head writer of the Archie books, Archie Sonic that is, because he was a fellow fan, I should say, like ourselves, getting this opportunity. And Ian, of course, was known before this opportunity for writing Other M, which was a darker take, an alternate universe take, on the Archie verse of Sonic. Anyway, we were all happy that he was getting this opportunity. And of course, he had his Bumble King site and his message board to go along with it. So with the message board, we could interact with him through Q&As, as well as give our thoughts, and speculations on the recently released issues and potentially upcoming issues and stuff without a problem. Well, what happened with me, as a lot of you know that follow this channel for as long as you have, if you have, I basically like to do my reviews in on camera or audio video format, along with my at the time monthly opinion videos. I would do that. I would do all of that on camera or, through audio video. And I would like to share them. So I looked at the Bumble King forums and I thought, hey, this would be a great place to share them. But unfortunately, I was wrong because I couldn't share them directly on the review portion of the message board. But one of his moderators, I don't know if it was Ian himself, but one of his moderators had created a separate area in the Archie Sonic section, I think that's what he called it, for myself and others that followed suit to upload, or not upload, but to link and share our on-camera or audio-video reviews of the issues, and as well as our speculations, like my monthly opinions and stuff. Well, to get to the point, what happened was one day, I don't know if it was one of my monthly opinion videos or it was something I had typed up, but basically what happened one day is Ian Flynn, or one of his moderators, removed one of my posts. And I was thinking, what's going on here? And apparently, to get to the point, what happened was, I guess it was assumed that I had pretty much spoiled what was to come, right? I had pretty much spoiled what was to come. And I, along with anybody else, didn't have the issue yet. But I guess I pretty much spoiled it, right? I pretty much spoiled it. And this was further cemented, in my opinion, when a fan over at the Fans United for Sat AM, where I also shared my on-camera or audio-video reviews and monthly opinion stuff, if you will, from here on YouTube, one fan came out and said that I had pretty much guessed what was going to happen almost to a T. Like, I pretty much had seen the direction Ian was going with the story. And the moment she told me that, she didn't tell me that, but the moment she mentioned that, that's kind of when it hit me like, oh, I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. So I did my best for a bit to not do that, but there were times I couldn't help it. And I think the reason I couldn't help it was because Ian at that time, and Ian, maybe he knows this himself, was too predictable. He was too predictable in the direction he was going. I mean, not just by like the covers of the of the issues and all that, but basic direction of the story. He was becoming too predictable, in what he was writing, which is why I think later on he switched it up and tried to throw us a curveball here and there, because he realized himself that he had become too predictable. But because of the fact that I was still constantly uploading on camera or audio video reviews and monthly opinions videos and all that, not uploading but linking, I should say, them onto the Bumble King forums, even with their own little sub area, I guess it was enough to where even if I would accidentally upload them in the review area, but then have to take that off and put it in the right area, but instead just type up what my thoughts were, I guess that was enough for Ian to say, this guy's out of here. This guy is out of here. And I ended up being removed. I ended up being taken out of the site. basically blocked, even though I was still listed as a member. Okay, and I was like, okay, fine. I'll give it time. Gave it time, came back, posted a few things, and then I was blocked again, removed again. And then if that's not further proof as my issues with Ian, on Twitter he blocked me as well. With my original Twitter account, not this one. He blocked me as well. And why? Basically he blocked me because of the fact that I pretty much saw where he was going with a lot of his stories at that time, and somewhat even towards the end of the Archie book, I could see where he was going. And he didn't like that. And to be honest, I don't think any writer would like that. The fact that they put all this hard work into telling this story, and even before it comes out, fans could pretty much guess exactly where they're going. And Ian, I think, took that personally, and I didn't mean for Ian to take anything personally. I was just being a fan, guessing exactly, speculating, giving my opinion in my own kind of unique way of where I thought he was heading with the story. But I guess it was enough for him to say, this guy's got to go. And you know what? I wasn't the only one, because I found out later on, because there were some members on the Bumble King forums that were also members at the same sites that I was a member of, like Sonic Sat AM and Sonic HQ and Stadium and all that, that all basically came out and said the same thing, that Ian had removed them, or he had his moderators remove them, because of, not just because of the reviews, but because they had pretty much guessed exactly what was going to happen next. Like, they pretty much figured out exactly what he was going to do, and Ian didn't like that. He wasn't thrilled by that, so he was like, get these people out of here. And I think looking back on it now, honestly, was it a bit of my fault that I got axed from the Bumble King group? Kind of was my fault, because because here's the thing, all I was doing was being a fan. But looking back on it, I guess I should have realized that even fans have to kind of like not really speculate too much or dig too much into what's going to probably happen next, because there's a good chance that through that speculation, through digging that deep, you'll figure out exactly what's going to happen before anybody else sees it, and that could get under the skin of the writers, of the authors. So looking back on it, was it kind of my fault? Yes. Was it also Ian's? Was it partially Ian's fault? Absolutely. Because what happened is that I understand Ian was new at writing the book and everything, but Ian should have known better. He should have known that if you're going to allow people to review the comics that you write on your website, and everything, that you should put some kind of warning in there that, hey, you can review it all you want, but please no spoilers on certain moments in the book or in the issue, or no spoilers or speculations on what potentially could be. Just review it, give your thoughts on it, and that's it. But that didn't happen, because he left the door open for a lot of people, including myself, to pretty much not only review the stories, but also speculate and guess almost to a T exactly what was going to happen, because he had become too predictable. Now, thankfully, he's improved by that in many ways. Obviously, he's improved by that in many ways. Even though back when, let's say, the Mecha Sally arc happened, we could pretty much guess exactly what was going to happen there, especially when you have the freaking silhouette of a roboticized Sally in the preview cover for issue 230 or issue 231. You pretty much could see where they were going with this. Even though a lot of people didn't like it, you could see where they were going, especially when that silhouette gives away exactly what's going to happen. The thing is, though, like I said, Ian has definitely improved. There is no doubt he has indeed improved. And And in my honest opinion, I think he looks back at his start on the Archie books and even up to the mid portion of his run, and he probably realizes that he himself was too predictable. That some of the things that he had, wrote as stories, fans could pretty much guess before the next part happened. So I'm sure Ian looks back on that and realizes, yeah, I was too predictable and I should have made it a lot less predictable and more unpredictable. And again, to his credit, he did that at times. He did do that at times. I think honestly though, if I was Ian, I would have told the people that were drawing the covers, I would have said, yeah, can you guys not, excuse me, I would have been like, yeah, guys, could you not make it so damn predictable about what's going to happen next with these covers? Can you do it differently to where it's not as predictable, not as spoilerific? If I was Ian, with all due respect, man, I would have done that. I would have said, can you do it this way so it's not so predictable? I mean, give you an example. One of the things I credit Archie IDW Sonic with is the covers are not always so predictable. It's like you look at these trade paperbacks and it's not so predictable as to what you can expect in this collection of issues. So if I was Ian, and again I say it with all due respect, I would have, at least during my time at Archie, I would have said, hey, can you guys not make the covers so predictable? Because it gives away exactly what's going to happen in the issue. If I was Ian and would have asked that, I'm pretty sure nobody would have guessed exactly what was going to happen in said issue, because the cover would be different. Like with 225, we wouldn't have guessed that one of the alternate covers was a hand on the ground of a dead character. None of us would have guessed right off the bat, just looking at the hand, oh, that's Sally. Or looking at the silhouette for 231 with the question mark, that's a roboticized Sally. We wouldn't have guessed that if the covers were different. So if I was Ian Flynn, I would have basically, and I say it with all due respect, man, like I mentioned earlier, I would have stepped in and said, hey, can you guys not, draw the covers this way? Can you not do that? Can you do it this way because it'll make it less predictable what's going to happen in the story? And keep people guessing. Can you do it this way and not this way? I think that would have helped out in the long run to kind of, help him improve on his storytelling and making it more unpredictable than predictable. But yeah, was it basically my fault? Kind of my fault of what happened at the Bubble King forums and everything? Absolutely. Was it kind of his fault for not issuing a warning of, hey, you could review, give your thoughts, but that's it? And maybe even to an extent at Archie telling the artist, hey, that did the covers for the issues, hey, can you do it this way and not this way? Yeah, the blame could be shared all the way around. But look, in the end, I do respect Ian as a writer. I really do. I just think his problem is he wants to do too much. He wants to, do too much, than normally, what's the word I'm looking for? Normally required of him to do. He wants to do too much. I mean, you look at the Mecha Sally arc that he did. You look at the Sonic Unleashed, Panic in the Sky arc, if you will. You take a look at the you take a look at the Metal Virus arc. You take a look at all of this, and yes, they are long stories, and yes, some of them are paced out very well, and the reason they're paced out very well is because they act like individual stories, even though they're connected to one story. But when it came to things like Mecha Sally and the Metal Virus, those were all one story. They weren't paced out very well. And to me, I think the detriment with Ian is, like I said, he does too much than what is required. If he just does something for a few issues, like 6 issues at minimum, or even a year's worth of issues in a story, then he's fine. but you keep going and going and going because you want to create this magnum opus, I should say, and you want to, cement your legacy as one of the best out there today, then you're going to burn yourself out. You're literally going to burn yourself out. And I think if there's one thing that he needs to fix, it's that. He needs to fix that. But with that being said, though, again, I have nothing but respect for the guy. Being one of the first fans like us to get this opportunity. Because now look what he's doing. He's not only working on IDW Sonic and other, comic books within the industry, as well as My Little Pony, believe it or not, but he's also writing for Sonic Frontiers, right? Helping write the story for Sonic Frontiers. He's wrote for various Sonic Boom episodes and potentially has writing credits for Sonic Prime. We don't know that yet until either he reveals it or it gets revealed himself. So, the guy has really come a long way. And he's even somebody that's behind the Riley for Sally campaign to get Sally in more Sonic media. So, yeah, I have respect for the guy. I really do. But, again, his detriment is he likes to do too much more than what is required of him. But also, looking back in my history, as I mentioned, we both kind of share the blame about what happened. Because, I should have known better. There's no doubt. But I think he should have realized that, hey, if I'm going to let people review the issues I write, here on my message board, I need to put a warning that, please just review, hide any spoilers in the spoiler tag. So if anybody wants to be spoiled, they could just click on it. But also say, hey, just do the review and all that, give your thoughts, and that's it. Because, again, we, even back then, we live and still do live in a society where information gets out fast. Information can get out fast. And pretty much people can guess, if not speculate through that information, what the next direction is going to be. And we also live in a time frame back then and even now, to where if you write a story in the way that Ian wrote the Archie book for a while, pretty much anybody's going to guess almost to a T exactly what the next step's going to be. And you don't want that if you're a comic book writer or you're trying to cement your legacy in this industry or in the entertainment industry. You don't want that. You want to make sure that what you're writing is unpredictable to the point that it keeps people guessing until the issue or the episode or whatever comes out. And that's it. I mean, that's what makes the MCU so fascinating to a lot of fans, even to this day still. Even to this day. Because, there's always going to be that movie or show that people are wondering, could this be it of when so-and-so shows up? Or could this be it that starts the road down the next Avengers level event, if you will? That's what makes it so fun still, because of the guessing, because we don't know what's up the road with them. They're keeping it tight-lipped. They're keeping it tight-lipped at times. And that's what makes it fun. So, with Ian, when he began, obviously that wasn't the case, because pretty much what he wrote and took the directions of the characters in storyline-wise and character-wise was too predictable. And he needed to basically not do that. I mean, I look back at the Iron Dominion arc, ladies and gentlemen, I look back at the Iron Dominion arc, and that whole Ken Con and Sally situation, I already knew. Remember, I already knew, and people I think pretty much, agreed with me on this, saw it coming. I already knew exactly what this was going to lead to, and believe it or not, 222 pretty much answered the question. We saw the hints of it afterwards, in the following issues. 222 came around. There you go. I mean, I looked at that because I looked at that relationship, that little romance he was putting with Sally and Khan, and I was like, why even put this in here when we know exactly, when I know, and I'm sure other people know, exactly the reason you did it. You're not going to write Sally out of the story to make her be with Khan or anything like that. No. You're doing this to build back up her relationship with Sonic. That is why. because she sees similar traits in Ken Khan that she saw in Sonic, and realizes, okay, maybe I should give Sonic a chance, because if Ken is a little similar to him, in personality, then maybe I was too, I guess you could say impulsive in, breaking things off. Emotionally impulsive, I should say. Anyway, to get to the point, it's stuff like that pretty much, thankfully, in my opinion, Ian has improved on. He has improved on in being less predictable. He's improved on by going in different directions where you wouldn't expect him to. So thankfully, he's gone and done that. And again, look at where he's at now. Do you think we would have expected him to be writing the Sonic video game like Sonic Frontiers? No. Or co-writing it? No. Do you think we would have expected him to write stories for the Sonic Boom show? No. Do you think that the potential, maybe he's written stories for Sonic Prime? Yeah. And do we expect it? No. But, it shows you how far he's come and how much he has indeed improved. Because, in my opinion, if he would have stayed the way he did, to where fans like me could pretty much guess exactly where he was going to go with certain characters or storylines or sub-arcs and all that in the next issue or in the issues to come, if he would have stayed that way, in my opinion, he wouldn't have gotten these other gigs. He wouldn't have gotten these other gigs unless he improved and got better at being, unpredictable. And obviously he has. He really has. But again, though, I know this video's gone a little longer than it should. In closing, the thing with me and Ian was, I was just being a fan, sharing my thoughts, and I guess I just got a little too close for comfort when it came to almost figuring out, exactly what was going to happen in future issues, which caused Ian to say, this guy's out of the Bumble King forms, along with other people that pretty much followed suit, doing similar guesstimations and all that. But anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to come on here. I know this may have started out a little slow, the video that is, talking about this. This is what happens when you do things unscripted and on the fly, if you will. And you just, let whatever you want to talk about come to your mind. But again, I just wanted to come out here, give you guys a little bit of a, in-depth, background onto my history, I should say, with Ian. And through my interactions with him on the Bumble King forums, and why basically it's kind of been like a oil and water kind of situation between us. But I just wanted to come on here, like I said, and let you guys know about that, and give props to the guy, because, like I said, he's definitely come a long way and definitely has indeed improved in his writing to it's less predictable and more unpredictable. And I think that's what's garnered him, I should say. That's what's garnered him, all these opportunities now that lie in front of him. So, anyway, though, guys, like I said, just wanted to come on here. Like I said, it may have started out slow, may have sounded a little ramble-ish and all that. I do apologize. But I just wanted to come on here, give you my thoughts, also on my history with Ian, kind of give you more of an in-depth, kind of look as to why, we kind of, there's an oil and mix kind of thing there. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if any of you have experienced something like this with Ian in the past, or any other writer on a comic book that's gone on to do other things. Let me know what your thoughts are. Comment below. Super thanks will be enabled after the video has premiered. Live chat will be open if you want to chat there, and do super chats and super stickers there. But until next time, guys, again, I just wanted to come on here, give you my in-depth history as to my, I guess you could say, my interactions with Ian, and pretty much why we've had the history that we've had. And it's a very similar history, I could tell you, that he's had with other writers, not other writers, but other fans as well. So that's all I really wanted to say, guys. So until next time, I will talk to you later. Peace out.